What was the last thought you fell asleep with last night? Was it fear, that quiet, corrosive whisper that tells you tomorrow will only echo today's defeat? Or was it faith, a clear and steady command that your life bends toward power, purpose, and abundance? Most men never remember, but whether you remember or not, your subconscious does. And tonight, as you rest, it is building your future brick by brick, from the very last sentence you spoke before sleep. If that final whisper was confusion, expect more confusion. If it was certainty, expect order. Because the mind does not rest when you close your eyes. It obeys. It takes instruction. It listens to the commander. And that commander is you. The truth is this: what you whisper before you close your eyes, you will live tomorrow. Say the wrong thing at night, and you will wake in poverty. Say the right thing, and the gates of wealth begin to open before dawn. After tonight, you will never speak carelessly again. You will not hand your mind to fear. You will hand it blueprints for riches. You will program your subconscious to build your fortune every single night, starting now. You may think the day ends when you close your eyes, but the truth is far more powerful. The day begins when your mind grows quiet, in that stillness before sleep, when your breathing slows and the noise of the world fades away. Your mind becomes a sacred workshop. And that final whisper, that last inner sentence you speak before surrendering to slumber, is not a throwaway thought. It is a command. It is the blueprint your subconscious will build from while you sleep. This is not poetry. This is process. It is the law that governs the invisible machinery of your mind. Every night you issue a set of instructions to your subconscious, to infinite intelligence, to the unseen network of cause and effect that shapes your destiny. The tragedy is that most people do this unconsciously. They go to bed replaying failure, regretting mistakes, worrying about bills. And then they wonder why their mornings feel heavy, why their life repeats itself in cycles of confusion. But those who understand the law, those who command the night, live differently, because they know that what they plant in the soil of their subconscious at night, they will harvest in daylight. This is the law of autosuggestion, the silent bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind. It is how your waking self transfers orders to your sleeping intelligence. And that bridge, fragile yet sacred, is most open just before sleep. When your defenses are low, your logic is soft, and your imagination reigns supreme. In those final moments, your words are not just thoughts. They are seeds. They are sparks touching the eternal. Speak fear, and you water weeds. Speak faith, and you water gold. No man, no matter how learned or intelligent, can violate this law without consequence. Autosuggestion is neutral. It will work for you or against you, depending on what you feed it. The subconscious is a servant without opinion. It cannot argue. It cannot interpret. It cannot delay. It only obeys. Whatever you impress upon it before sleep becomes the soil from which your future will grow. It will take your words, no matter how careless or deliberate, and sculpt them into reality. Imagine your subconscious as a vast construction site. Every night before you close your eyes, you hand your builders a set of blueprints. You decide whether they construct a palace or a prison. The question is, what are you handing them tonight? Because most men hand over chaos. They review the day's failures. They repeat what they fear. They build walls of worry and call it reflection. But the few, the rare few, end their day as architects. They hand their subconscious a design for wealth, for mastery, for purpose. Those men rise with clarity, move with certainty, and walk through doors that others never even see. Their outer fortune begins in their inner design. Let me make this plain. Say the wrong thing at night, and you sabotage the riches that are trying to reach you. You lock the vault with your own voice. But speak rightly, speak with faith, definiteness, and conviction, and you align yourself with infinite intelligence itself. Your mind, like your fortune, is being built while you sleep. The only question is, what blueprint are you handing it? You must begin tonight. You must not wait another day. You must not allow your final hour to belong to the noise of the world. Turn off the world. Turn off the doubts that enter through fatigue. Turn off the voice of fear and speak your command. My definite chief aim is fixed. My mind is rich. My riches are certain. Say it. Say it with authority. Say it until your voice shakes with certainty. Say it until your subconscious believes it more than your fears. For repetition is the builder of belief, and belief is the architect of reality. You are not simply ending your day, you are beginning your destiny. And from this night forward, your sleep will no longer be escape. It will be construction. It will be the silent shaping of your empire. Your subconscious never sleeps. It listens in silence. It obeys without question. When your conscious mind drifts into rest, your subconscious becomes fully awake. A loyal sentinel that takes whatever you last spoke and begins to build your reality around it. It is the richest land in existence, more fertile than gold mines or oil fields. And like the earth itself, it does not choose what to grow. It will nurture whatever you plant. Fear or faith, doubt or desire, scarcity or abundance. The soil does not discriminate. It only produces what you sow repeatedly. So understand this. Your subconscious is always listening. It listens when you doubt. It listens when you complain. It listens when you speak with power. Each word, each emotional whisper, each passing phrase is taken down, recorded, and set into motion. This is not metaphor. It is mechanism. Modern science now calls this neuroplasticity, the mind's ability to rewire itself through repetition. Hill called it autosuggestion, but the law is the same. Your brain, like wet clay, reshapes itself around the thoughts you impress most often. During sleep, your neural circuits replay what you fed them in the final hours of wakefulness, strengthening some pathways, erasing others. If you end your day repeating worry, your mind will carve anxiety deeper into its structure. If you end your day in belief, it will etch confidence into your character. The man who ends his day muttering, "I can't afford it," has just ordered his subconscious to find proof of poverty. The man who says, "I am rich in thought, clear in aim, and guided by infinite intelligence," has sown gold into the soil of his mind. Every repeated thought before sleep enters the subconscious without resistance. It does not pass through logic. It does not meet debate. It sinks in like rain into dry ground, and what the soil receives, it multiplies. This is the unbreakable law. Carnegie understood this law. He trained his men to understand it. Every man he mentored had to write his definite chief aim, a clear, burning statement of purpose. They were ordered to repeat it aloud before sleep, with conviction and emotion, to speak it until it carved a groove in their subconscious mind. These were not idle affirmations. They were commands issued to the invisible, and the invisible obeyed. Carnegie taught that riches are not granted by luck or favor. They are built by thought, and thought repeated with belief becomes power. Every one of his most successful men lived by this rule. They never ended a day without speaking their purpose aloud. Do you see the pattern? The wealthy, the great, the architects of civilization, they all understood this. The world calls it confidence. Hill called it faith. Science calls it conditioning. But all three names describe the same force, the mind becoming what it repeats. Do not end your day in drift. Do not end your day with fear or complaint. End it with a command. Because your mind is not a debating chamber. It is a servant, and a servant cannot resist a master who speaks with faith. Say this before you sleep. I am the master of my thoughts. I am the commander of my riches. I plant only what I wish to harvest. Do not whisper it timidly. Speak it like truth already realized. Speak until your breath vibrates with certainty. Speak until your subconscious bows to your will. Because your subconscious is not moved by your feelings. It is moved by your repetition. It listens to your most frequent command, not your momentary emotion. So speak it again and again until your words become law. There is no such thing as a harmless thought before sleep. Every word is a seed. Every seed produces after its kind. You cannot plant thorns and harvest grapes. You cannot speak failure and expect fortune. Many say, "But I've said positive things before and nothing changed." And I ask them, did you repeat them with fire? Did you speak them with conviction? Or cancel them with doubt by morning? Did you hold your declaration through fatigue, through delay, through contradiction? Because the subconscious is not a magician. It is a mirror. It reflects what you speak most often. And what you speak most often becomes your world. Hear this warning. If you do not command your mind before sleep, it will be commanded for you. The voices of fear, the opinions of others, the sorrows of your past, they will fill the void if you do not fill it first. This is why so many live in quiet repetition of failure. They end each night in worry, sleep in worry, wake in worry, and wonder why success never finds them. But you are different now. Tonight and every night forward, you will hand your mind instruction. You will speak your wealth. You will repeat your aim. You will command your fortune. Because your subconscious, like faithful soil, will obey whatever seed you plant. Say this tonight. My definite chief aim is before me. My riches are forming. I am calm. I am certain. I am ready to receive. Say it until belief replaces memory. Say it until the night itself begins to work for you. For this is the law that never sleeps, and tonight it serves you. Most men believe the day ends when their eyes close, but the man of definite purpose knows. The true work begins when the world falls silent. For it is in that sacred hour between wakefulness and slumber that the conscious mind yields its throne and the subconscious, vast, tireless, obedient, takes command of creation. This is not myth. It is the most overlooked law in the universe. Night is the gateway to infinite intelligence. When the body grows still, resistance fades. Logic loosens its grip, and your words, your final thoughts, bypass the guards of reason and enter straight into the infinite, where they are received as commands. The man of drift ends his day in confusion. He lies in bed replaying failure, rehearsing fear, reviewing the noise of the world. And in doing so, he hands the keys of his subconscious to chaos. But the man of direction ends his day in dominion. He gives his subconscious a single clear instruction. Build this. And as he sleeps, the unseen forces of life conspire to fulfill it. The question is not whether the law works. It is only, for whom is it working tonight? When the conscious mind rests, the subconscious opens wide to infinite intelligence. It becomes a receiving station, a divine workshop, where imagination, faith, and emotion combine to sculpt reality. This is the moment of divine transaction. It is the hour when men unknowingly write tomorrow's script. For when you speak in that half-dreaming state, when your words are soaked in emotion, when your imagination glows brighter than reason, you are impressing your destiny onto the unseen. The night listens. The universe records. The subconscious obeys. Edison used this very principle with scientific precision. Before sleep, he would pose a problem aloud, a question, a desire, a challenge, and hand it to infinite intelligence. Then, while he rested, his subconscious worked, and upon waking, he would often find answers waiting for him like gifts from the invisible. He did not hope. He instructed. He did not wish. He commanded. This was his nightly ritual, not of superstition, but of science. And it is the same law that governed the minds of Ford, Carnegie, Rockefeller, and every titan who built empires not from luck, but from mental mastery. You must now learn to command your night. To end each day as a general concludes a campaign, not with worry, but with review, resolve, and clear instruction. Before you sleep, speak your definite chief aim aloud, not as a wish, but as a certainty. See it in your mind's eye, not as a dream, but as an event already unfolding. Say, I believe in my ability to turn this thought into wealth. Feel the words vibrate through your chest. See the result. Hear the applause of completion. Feel the handshake after victory. Say it slowly. Say it with fire. Say it until your nerves burn with expectation. For that burning, that emotion, is the sign your subconscious has received the command. Do not retire as a beggar in thought, asking if you will ever succeed. Retire as a king who has spoken the law of his own becoming. If the world gave you fear, give your mind faith. If the world gave you noise, give your soul silence. If the world gave you defeat, give your spirit dominion. You are not a servant of circumstance, you are the architect of it, and the blueprint of your fortune is drawn each night before sleep. Say this aloud as your day closes. My night hours are not idle. They are working. Infinite intelligence prepares my path while I rest. Do not surrender to sleep like the common man. Do not let your final thoughts drift like leaves in the wind. Close your eyes as a commander giving sacred instruction to his army. Your night is not rest, it is construction. Your sleep is not escape, it is transmission. Your dreams are not chaos, they are command. Say, I end my day with purpose. I pass my vision into the invisible. I walk with the confidence that what I speak tonight shall shape my world by morning. Let your final thoughts not be scattered but sacred, not restless but royal, not hesitant but definite. Tonight, whisper this one last truth. I am connected to infinite intelligence. I speak what I seek. I command what I claim. My sleep is not rest, it is instruction. For the man who learns to command his night will never again wake as a victim of his morning. He will rise as a master of his destiny, because while the world slept in fear, he was whispering the language of power into eternity. Faith, if it remains silent, dies in the shadows. It is not enough to believe quietly. Faith must be spoken, aloud, especially when the world is silent, especially when the night is deep, especially when doubt is near. Because when you speak your faith aloud, your voice becomes a bridge between what is unseen and what will soon be seen. Your words vibrate through the air, through the flesh, through the neural pathways of your brain, programming, persuading, transforming the invisible into the inevitable. Faith must have sound. It must have breath. It must echo in your own ears until your subconscious begins to bow to it. This is why the great men of history were never mute in their conviction. Prophets declared. Leaders proclaimed. Revolutionaries stood in silence until they could stand no longer, until their belief broke through as words that shaped nations. And every night as the world sleeps, you are invited into the same sacred act, to speak your faith aloud and hand your words to the infinite. You may carry your goals all day long in thought, but if you do not give them voice before you sleep, they fade like mist at sunrise. The subconscious does not remember what you think fleetingly. It remembers what you declare repeatedly with conviction. Speech is not noise. It is energy. It is vibration. When you speak belief with emotion, your voice becomes the conductor of creation. The man who believes but never speaks his belief is like one holding the key to the vault but refusing to turn it. So every night before you sleep, speak your belief aloud. Say, I believe in myself. I believe in my definite purpose. I believe that riches are seeking me now because I am prepared to receive them. Do not whisper it. Proclaim it. Say it as though the walls themselves must remember. Because the subconscious does not respond to passivity. It responds to vibration, to emotion, to rhythm, to the authority in your tone. Lincoln knew this law. He was battered by defeat, 8 elections lost, countless criticisms endured. But he never let his tongue curse his future. He never allowed despair to escape his lips. Even when the nation tore itself apart, he spoke unity. When his advisors urged retreat, he spoke perseverance. When the world saw failure, he spoke faith. He understood. Silence in the face of destiny is surrender, and so must you. You must never let your final words at night be words of fatigue or complaint. Even if your body is tired, let your voice rise in power. Because your subconscious does not record your exhaustion, it records your declaration. Even when your faith feels weak, speak it. Even when your circumstances look impossible, declare it. For belief is not born from feeling. Belief is born from repetition. And repetition, spoken aloud, is the sculptor of faith. Science confirms what Hill taught a century ago, that the human voice, spoken with emotion, imprints deeper neural patterns than silent thought alone. When you hear yourself speak belief, your brain begins to treat it as reality. Your physiology changes. Your heart rate synchronizes with certainty. Your breath steadies into authority. And your subconscious, your silent servant, begins to obey. This is why the ancients prayed aloud, why mantras were sung, why prophets spoke rather than thought. Sound gives spirit form. Your words are creative instruments, vibrating commands that shape your unseen world. So tonight, speak not as a beggar, but as a creator. Say, though my hands may be empty, my mind is full of wealth. Though my account may be small, my faith is vast. Though no man sees it, I have spoken it. Therefore, it is forming. Every great empire was first spoken in solitude. Every fortune began as a sentence whispered into silence. And infinite intelligence heard it. So let no day end without the confession of your faith. Do not let sleep come before your belief is spoken. Declare it until your entire nervous system responds, until your cells themselves begin to anticipate wealth. Silence in the face of your dream is not humility. It is fear wearing disguise. You were not born to whisper your destiny. You were born to command it. If you do not speak faith, you will speak fear, and fear repeated becomes failure. But faith spoken becomes power. So here is your nightly formula. Simple, sacred, unstoppable. Say aloud, I believe I was born to achieve riches. I believe infinite intelligence guides me. I believe my definite chief aim is being fulfilled. I believe no delay is final, and no failure is fatal. I believe I am becoming exactly who I was meant to be. Say it slowly. Say it with rhythm. Say it until it stops being a sentence and becomes your identity. Then whisper one final command before sleep. Faith is my final word today. I sleep with certainty. I wake with vision. Because how you sleep determines how you rise. And how you rise determines what you receive. Speak faith, not someday, not when you feel ready, but tonight. Because the universe does not respond to thought alone. It responds to voice. And your voice, once aligned with faith, becomes law. Say nothing faithless before you sleep. For this hour is creation. And creation begins in sound. There is no such thing as chance in the making of a fortune. No luck in the rise of a millionaire. No coincidence in the life of a man who commands his thoughts with discipline. Every empire you have ever admired, every fortune that seemed to appear overnight, was built on a ritual, repeated in secret, forged in silence. A ritual that begins when the world sleeps. For while the common man drifts into unconsciousness, the uncommon man steps into creation. He hands his mind clear instruction, then allows infinite intelligence to do its work. This ritual is no myth. It is law, and it can be learned. Tonight you will learn the 4 sacred actions that build wealth from within. A formula practiced by the few who rise silently while others dream in confusion. Each action is simple. Each one demands obedience. And together they form the night ritual that builds millionaires. They are not wishes. They are commands. And if you practice them nightly, with precision, with emotion, with faith, you will transform sleep into a divine workshop. Let us begin. Step 1. Speak your definite chief aim. No man ever built an empire without blueprints. No fortune was ever created without a clear, specific goal. Each night, before you rest, you must declare your definite chief aim. Aloud. Say it as if engraving it into the walls of your mind. Say it slowly. Say it clearly. Say it until your subconscious begins to expect its fulfillment. Because the subconscious does not act on vague wishes, it acts on definiteness. So tonight, craft your statement. Make it exact. Make it emotional. Say, I will create a business that serves 1 million men. I will give more value than I receive. I will earn no less than $100,000 per month. I will achieve this with faith, persistence, organized planning, and unwavering belief. These are not idle sentences. They are mental architecture. Each word is a brick in the invisible foundation of your empire. A man without a definite aim is a ship without a compass, forever drifting. A man with a definite aim, spoken nightly with conviction, becomes unstoppable. Step 2. Speak your faith. Faith is the flame that turns blueprints into fire. You must never lay your head upon your pillow without declaring belief. Belief in yourself, in your purpose, in the law that governs success. Faith is not an emotion, it is a decision, repeated until it becomes instinct. Say, I believe in myself. I believe infinite intelligence guides me. I believe riches are forming, even when I cannot see them. I believe no obstacle can withstand a definite man. Even if your faith feels small, speak it. Even if your world looks dark, declare it. Because your words are the seeds that your emotions will soon water. Faith spoken creates belief felt, and belief felt becomes reality built. Step 3. Visualize your reward. Now close your eyes. See the image complete. Walk through your success as though it were already done. Feel the texture of achievement, the warmth of gratitude, the quiet certainty of arrival. See the business thriving. Hear the sound of opportunity knocking. Feel the weight of wealth in your hands, not as fantasy, but as fact. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between imagination and memory. What it experiences vividly, it will reproduce faithfully. So paint your vision in detail. Let it burn into your mind until it feels undeniable. This mental rehearsal is not pretending, it is pre-building. The mind that repeatedly visualizes success magnetizes it. The man who sees his goal each night moves through life as if led by unseen hands. Step 4. Give thanks. The final act is gratitude. Gratitude seals belief. It is the invisible signature that tells infinite intelligence, I have received. Never beg, never plead, thank. Say, I thank you for my riches. I thank you for my guidance. I thank you for the reward forming even now. I thank you for the strength to obey this law. I thank you for the purpose that anchors me. Gratitude spoken before receiving is the highest proof of faith. And faith that thanks in advance always receives in due time. These are the 4 laws of nightly power. 1. Speak your aim. 2. Declare your faith. 3. Visualize your reward. 4. Give thanks. Practice them with reverence, not as routine, but as ritual. They require no temple, no audience, no priest, only discipline and belief. And the man who treats this practice as sacred will rise while others sleep in confusion. Because while the world dreams aimlessly, he dreams deliberately. While others drift, he directs. While others wish, he commands. Rockefeller grew up poor. He owned nothing but a notebook and an unbreakable structure of mind. He ended each day in clarity. He began each morning in command. He understood the law that wealth is not drawn to motion. It is drawn to order, and order begins in the mind. The fortune you seek is not waiting to find you. It is waiting to obey you. But first, you must command it with consistency. Before you close your eyes tonight, say, I do not hope for success. I instruct it. I do not wait for money. I am already rich in thought. I do not wish for favor. I walk in law. Then repeat the steps. Speak your aim. Declare your faith. Visualize your result. Give thanks. Do this nightly, not as performance but as obedience to the invisible. Because identity is forged through repetition, and repetition is the mother of mastery. If you fail one night, do not despair. Return to the ritual the next. It is not perfection that moves mountains. It is persistence. Say this with conviction. Each night I train my mind for wealth. I command my riches. I declare my future. I visualize my reward. I give thanks in advance. I sleep not in fear, but in power. This is not superstition. This is science of the soul. And the one who obeys it will rise, because the world always bends to the man who masters his night. Every mansion you see, every invention that reshaped civilization, every fortune ever amassed, began as a single thought. But thought alone is not enough. The dreamer who thinks once and forgets is no different from the man who never dreamed at all. Only repeated thought becomes real. Only the command spoken again and again becomes law. Only the mind trained through discipline builds destiny. This is the law that separates the curious from the creator, the wanderer from the architect, the hopeful from the wealthy. Repetition is not glamorous. It is quiet, relentless, invisible. But it is the master key to all success. The subconscious mind does not obey brilliance. It obeys persistence. You may speak the right words once, but they will vanish unless you etch them into your being through repetition. This is why Napoleon Hill called repetition the builder of faith, and why the wise called it the mother of mastery. Because the mind cannot hold a thought that is not repeated. Each hammer strike is repetition. Each word spoken nightly is one more strike against the raw material of your mind. Eventually, what was once formless becomes form, and form becomes fortune. The dreamer drifts, the doer repeats, and repetition transforms identity. This is the law of conditioning. Modern psychology confirms what the mystics already knew. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition. Thoughts become habits. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. You are not what you think one. You are what you think most. The subconscious does not care whether your repeated thought is noble or destructive. It will build whatever you feed it. If you rehearse fear, you will live in defense. If you rehearse faith, you will live in creation. If you speak wealth with consistency, you will begin to act like one who expects it. The man who says, "I am rich," once will change nothing. But the man who says it every night, with emotion and conviction, until it becomes the only language his soul speaks, that man cannot avoid the transformation. Edison repeated his vision of invention long before the world saw it. He wrote it, he spoke it, he refined it, he carved it into his consciousness until his belief became reflex. He was not lucky. He was faithful, faithful in repetition. He knew that the sentence said once is a wish. The sentence said 1,000 times becomes a force. Every night you must speak the same truths, not because the words are magic, but because the consistency is law. Say, "I am becoming rich. I am calm in purpose. I am definite in aim. I am advancing daily in thought, in action, in belief." Even when nothing has changed, especially when nothing has changed, repeat it. Because while the outer world seems still, the inner world is already moving. Faith grows underground first. Wealth takes root before it is seen. There is no power in scattered thought. Power lives only in fixed thought. And fixed thought is born from repetition. One man studies 100 books and drifts. Another repeats a single sentence of belief each night and moves mountains. It is not variety that shapes destiny. It is devotion. You do not need many affirmations. You need a few spoken with fire, accuracy, and relentless consistency. These statements, once engraved upon your subconscious, become your identity. And identity is the magnet that draws your world. Say, "I repeat wealth into being. I command riches through discipline. I speak prosperity with honor. I repeat belief until it becomes instinct. Repetition is your sword. Repetition is your shield. Repetition is the builder of your fortune. The world will try to shake your faith. Delay will test you. Fear will whisper that you are foolish to repeat what you cannot yet see. Ignore them. Delay is not denial. It is the testing of your consistency. The universe must know that you will not betray your truth when the evidence hides. Most men speak belief for a week, then speak doubt for a lifetime. That is not repetition. That is contradiction. And contradiction destroys creation. You must become the man who repeats truth no matter what he sees, who declares his riches in darkness until light appears, who speaks faith in silence until the echo becomes reality. You must become the man who repeats wealth into being while the world calls him mad, because only the madly consistent ever rule their fate. Say tonight, I give my mind the same instructions until they become law. I do not speak fear. I do not drift. I repeat my aim. I repeat my belief. I repeat my vision until it forms. This is not madness. This is mastery. Every master was once misunderstood for his consistency. Every builder mocked before the structure stood. Every rich man ridiculed before his riches appeared. But all of them, every one, were disciplined repeaters of truth. Repeat your aim until the world reflects it. Repeat your faith until fear cannot enter. Repeat your truth until it becomes the only language your soul speaks. You do not need new truth. You need unwavering repetition of the one you already know. So tonight, as the world drifts in noise, speak this final vow. My wealth is forming. My mind is strong. My purpose is fixed. My belief is repeated. My fortune is certain. And repeat it again tomorrow, and the night after, and every night thereafter, until your words stop being effort and start being identity. Because repetition is how gods are made from men. It is how the invisible becomes visible. It is how you transform belief into law. The world may forget your words, but your subconscious never will. Speak, repeat, build, until the invisible obeys. There is an enemy more subtle than failure, more dangerous than fear, more destructive than doubt. It is called drift. Drift does not strike like lightning. It seeps like fog. It does not shout. It whispers. It does not destroy quickly. It dissolves slowly. It is the quiet surrender of the mind, the slow erosion of purpose, the silent betrayal of direction. And no man who permits drift can ever hold dominion over his life. Napoleon Hill called drift the invisible destroyer. It comes not from weakness, but from vagueness, from a mind that forgets to decide. The drifter is not lazy. He is unfocused. He moves, but not toward. He thinks, but not deliberately. He sleeps, but never commands. And so, the drifter lives as a leaf in the wind, tossed by circumstance, ruled by emotion, governed by the voices of others. If fear is a storm, drift is the fog that follows, and it creeps in during the final hour, the hour before sleep, when the mind grows tired and begins to surrender to whatever thought is strongest. If you do not command that thought, drift will. Drift enters through fatigue, through distraction, through silence. You can feel it, that weight on your chest when you want to speak faith but whisper doubt instead. That faint voice that says, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes for the drifter. He begins each day confused because he ended the last one careless. He spends his years in motion but without movement, circling the same mountain, wondering why life never changes. There is a cure for drift. It is certainty. Certainty before sleep is your armor. It is the shield that blocks fear and confusion from entering the gates of your subconscious. Certainty does not mean arrogance. It means clarity. It means closing your day with a statement, not a question. It means deciding who you are before the world tells you otherwise. The man of certainty says, I sleep with direction. I rest with command. My thoughts serve me, not rule me. He knows that the subconscious does not care about emotion, only instruction. It does not care if you feel tired. It only remembers what you say. So say it, speak it, declare it. Even if your day was chaos, end it in clarity. Even if you were shaken, end it in strength. Even if you stumbled, end it with certainty. Because how you end determines how you begin. And the man who ends each night in confusion will wake to find his purpose scattered by morning. Drift cannot enter a definite mind. When your aim is fixed, your spirit is guarded. When your direction is known, your destiny cannot be stolen. Certainty is not pride. It is alignment with law. And law responds to definiteness. Say aloud before you close your eyes, I sleep with certainty. I do not drift. I am ruled by purpose. I am fixed in vision. I wake in command. Repeat it like scripture. Let it become the rhythm of your rest. Because the subconscious is not moved by what you feel. It is moved by what you declare repeatedly. Drift begins where repetition ends. When you stop speaking your truth, the world will speak for you. When you stop deciding your destiny, fear will decide it instead. So you must speak until your silence itself becomes direction. You must decide until decision becomes nature. You must repeat until your words are the only voice your subconscious hears. The definite man ends his day the same way. He reviews his aim. He resolves his faith. He rests, not as retreat, but as readiness for tomorrow's campaign. This is how empires are built. This is how fortune bows before a man who knows his command. Say this tonight. No matter what occurred today, my aim remains. My mission is unchanged. My faith is intact. My wealth is in motion. Say it even when you feel weak. Say it when the world tells you otherwise. Because drift cannot defeat a man who ends his day in decision. The definite mind cannot be possessed by fear. Fear requires confusion to enter. It needs cracks, doubts, hesitations, half-truths. But when you sleep in certainty, fear finds no door. It cannot whisper to the man who has already spoken his command. You must make this your nightly posture, calm, clear, convinced. You do not go to sleep to escape the world. You go to sleep to instruct it. Say one final time, I sleep with certainty. I dream with purpose. I wake with fire. No drift, no doubt, no delay shall remain with me. And then rest, not as the tired do, but as the powerful rest. Because you have slain drift, and in its place you have crowned certainty. You are no longer a victim of thought. You are its commander. And your night, your sacred silent night, now belongs to purpose. The man who ends his day in command will never again wake in confusion. He will rise not searching for direction, but carrying it. The poor man believes that work happens only when his hands move. But the rich man knows the most powerful labor is performed in silence. It begins when the eyes close, when the world grows still, when the conscious mind retreats and the gates of the subconscious swing open. Night is not rest. Night is construction. It is the hour when the invisible becomes visible, when thought hardens into form, when fortune is forged in the unseen. For this is the truth. The fortune is formed in darkness, before it shines in light. You are not made rich when you are paid. You are made rich when you command riches. When your words, whispered in solitude, become orders to the infinite. You are not made rich in public applause. You are made rich in private repetition. It is not the noise of the crowd that builds wealth. It is the quiet of conviction. Night is not surrender. It is strategy. It is the command post of the soul. It is where kings speak to creation and say, build this, and creation obeys. While the world slept, they worked. Not with their hands, with their words. They issued commands to their minds, as generals issue orders to armies. And the subconscious, loyal and precise, carried those orders through the unseen corridors of infinite intelligence until the results appeared. You must now do the same. While the common man replays his failures, you will rehearse your reward. While others drift into worry, you will hand your mind clear instruction. While the world sighs, you will declare. While others dream passively, you will direct your dreams deliberately. This is not fantasy. It is law, the same law that governs gravity, light, and growth. The subconscious is the builder. It builds fastest when unopposed. And what greater stillness, what purer silence exists than the hour before you sleep? Say now, as I sleep, riches obey my thoughts. My mind is fertile, focused, and faithful. My subconscious builds while I rest. These are not affirmations. They are blueprints. They are instructions to the hidden machinery of destiny. Remember Andrew Carnegie, the man who learned to govern thought like a kingdom. He trained his mind to obey as faithfully as a soldier follows command. He taught his men the same, to write their aim, to speak it nightly, to hand it to their subconscious like orders sealed by fire. He did not rise by luck. He rose by law. The same law that now waits for your obedience. Every night is a holy moment. It is the unseen workshop of your future. Each evening you choose. Will you give your mind to chaos or to command? Will you plant weeds or gold? Will you drift or will you direct? Because every thought before sleep is a seed. And every seed, no matter how small, will grow. While others close their eyes to escape, you will close yours to create. While the common man seeks relief, you will seek rulership. You will become the architect of the invisible, building in darkness what others will marvel at in daylight. This is how the law rewards the obedient. This is how the unseen becomes substance. Say with clarity, night is my hour of power. My words are construction. My thoughts are orders. My riches are forming. Because progress does not begin when the world applauds you. It begins when no one sees. When there is no evidence. When there is only belief. That is when the foundations of wealth are laid. Infinite intelligence responds to the man who gives orders, while others drift in passivity. It does not respond to hesitation. It answers command. So each night, speak your chief aim. Affirm your faith. Visualize your wealth. Give thanks as though the result were already born. This is not ritual, it is rulership. The world will say, I will see if things work out. You will say, I have declared it, and it is forming. The world will say, I hope it happens. You will say, it is already done. Because when the mind is programmed, the result is inevitable. Tonight, you hand your vision to the infinite. You give orders to your inner world. And when you rise, you will no longer chase riches. You will walk toward the wealth already under construction. Say your aim. Say your belief. Say your command. Then sleep. And let infinite intelligence work through the night, turning your words into structure, your faith into foundation, your repetition into reality. Your only duty now is obedience. Your only task is repetition. Your only burden is faithful command. Close your eyes, not in escape but in direction, not in retreat but in rulership, for this is how men become masters. This is how dreamers become builders. This is how thoughts become fortunes. Let the night take your words and return them to you as gold. Let your nights become holy. Let your words become seed. Let your mind become soil. And let your riches rise from the darkness, because you dared to speak them before you saw them.